I was asked a question earlier today on Facebook by a lady I know. She asked me, why do the majority of older men prefer to go out with much younger women? She didn't ask me that question out of the blue. Let me set it up first why she asked me that. This is a lady, an Argentine lady that I know. She lives on the East Coast. I live in the West Coast in California. And last year she had been kind of hinting, we only know each other online, kind of hinting about maybe us two getting together, traveling together, starting something. Even talked about maybe going to Argentina with her. And I said, well, I don't know, maybe we'll see. And I kind of got out of that one. Lovely lady. I'm 61. She's a couple years older than me. Nice, but I'm not especially attracted to her. So I kind of got out of that one, and I kind of went nowhere. Pretty lady though. And so out of the blue, she writes me today and says, "Hey, long time no see, no talk to." And then she says, "Estoy buscando un amigo." She literally translated in English as, "I'm looking for a guy friend. I'm looking for a male friend," right? And then the next question she asked me is, "Are you seeing anyone?" So of course she's hinting right there, I think. So I don't want to go down that hole again. So I lied and I said I'm involved, that I'm seeing an ex-student. I'm an English and Spanish student in person and online. I could give you more information about that later if you're curious about studying English or Spanish. And that I was dating an ex-student, and she was, and then she wrote me. So I sent it to her on Messenger, and then she wrote me, "How old is she?" I know she was going to ask that, and I made this lady up. So I just said, not to sound so bad, I said, well, but I said she's 35. Okay, I'm 61, so I guess I wasn't old enough. Because then she writes me back and she asked me that question: why do older men, the majority of them, much prefer to go out with younger women? And then I think she kind of takes a shot at me. Or the way she says it, they prefieren salir con muchachitas. And the word muchachitas, muchacha is the word. Here's a little Spanish lesson. It's kind of like we say women, we say ladies, we say girls. And girls, we don't necessarily mean minor girls. We mean, hey, the girls. So we say muchachas, but when you say muchachitas, you give it that diminutive. You're saying, you're giving that kind of a despective point of view, like, oh, little girls, or little ladies, like maybe she's thinking she's a 20-year-old, maybe she's a 19-year-old. So kind of disrespectful. Why do they like muchachitas? Why do they prefer, she said, to go out with muchachitas rather than with women their age? Okay, says why? Well, I thought in a way, the first thing that came to my mind is that's a dumb question, kind of. Because I think it's known. You know men. Men know men, women know men. You kind of know. It's understood. Why do older men like... The reasons you could give to it comes off the top of my head is that older men maybe they admire beauty. They want to recapture something of their youth. They like that younger form, the style of the younger woman. It's just natural. Like typical guy like me. I'm not married. I'm like your average 60-year-old who's like a 30-year-old libido. Okay, and I know that sounds bad, but that's just maybe the way it is. And it is what it is. Sometimes you feel that way. You don't mind when you go out with a younger lady. Now, the youngest lady I've ever dated, I was involved with a girlfriend I had in Colombia. Well, she was 6 years younger than me. And as for, I want to say about that too. I said to her, well, it's not just one way. There are older women who date much younger men too. And in this country, her English is not her first language. So I told her, women who are of that style, older women who might like much younger men, they're known as cougars in this country. And talk about teaching English, that's a word that some 20 years ago I didn't know. One of my Japanese students, a man, taught me that word. We were talking about somebody and said she's a cougar. And I had to ask, what's a cougar? That's how socially out of touch I was. I didn't understand anything. So, and I think it's kind of unfair. I'll be honest. I think that's kind of unfair toward women, that older men who tend to go with younger women, it's kind of seen bad by a lot of ladies and maybe some men too. But there are women who think, oh, or men who look at them and say, oh, the men do at least, look at them and say, oh, all right, old timer, Or people in general, or women might look at him and say, what's with that man? What's sophisticated about him? What is so attractive that he gets a woman who's half his age, and must be something really special about him. But then this lady, of course, she said the obvious to me. She said, translating what she said, um, they just want the economic stability. That, of course, yeah, they think that older men tend to have money, and they do usually. I don't have a lot of it. Okay. Or they want the economic stability, or they want to rob them and say, I think she meant this as a shot to me, like you're trying to deflate my balloon on this fictitious woman I made up. She rarely falls in love with an older man. Okay. But she says, oh, well, that's the way the world is. Bye, take care. And then when I said they called, women are called, like younger men are called cougars, and men who like younger women, they're called hombres verdes. Excuse me, hombres verdes. Literally green men. A green man, a greenie, is a sense of calling somebody a lecherous old man, a lustful old man, un hombre verde. Okay, he's rather risque, just because he likes old younger women. Okay. Sometimes it's companionship, sometimes it's the sex, and they don't always assume what you do with a younger lady, right? Well, anyways, that was that. But I'm kind of curious to hear your responses. Why do then the different reasons an older man tends to like to go out with younger women or more attracted to younger women in many cases. And same thing to about young older women who are looking to be with younger men. And the men who date them, those older ladies, are they looking for sugar mama? Or they just want a mommy figure in their lives? What is it about those men? And is it they sweet talk these ladies who sometimes are wealthy and the ladies fall for it? That's not always the case. Sometimes it's like a 40-year-old, just a 40 or 45-year-old. She's going out with a 22-year-old man. And there's stories like that of Mary J. Latorno, the teacher who started something with a teenager in her class, and that's the extreme. Teenage boy got pregnant with him, and yeah, we hear all kinds of stuff like that. But on another line, talk about relationships and sex and going out, and a lady in my church I used to go to, she asked me once, what kind of women I like, who are my favorites, what kind of do I prefer? And I was honest with her. I said I prefer Latinas and Asians. And she said, well, what's wrong with American girls? And she seemed kind of miffed, kind of ticked off that I said I didn't include American women with that. No, I've dated, of the ladies I've dated in my life, only one has been quote unquote American. A couple of others, including a serious one I almost married, was Latina. And I've had a couple of Asian ladies in my life. I just do. It's hard to say why. I could explain that more in another video. I'd love to hear from you guys out there too. What are your preferences and why? Some men tell me, oh, they don't like American women for whatever reason. They're too aggressive or whatever. No offense to American women. No offense. Their images for whatever you're man or woman, what country you are, what culture. There's an image about you. And, well, I'm just curious. I'd love to hear your point of view on that. Why do men tend to like younger women, and in many cases, older women tend to like younger men? And do you have a preference for what ethnicity you like to go out with? Kind of food for thought and wondering about that. This is called the Language Cafe, and I'm Edgar Montoya. And when you talk about the Language Cafe, you could talk about not just, I teach grammar, I teach English, but also we talk about, well, English and words or Spanish, and we talk about themes and topics and cultural things that I like to talk about. I hope you watch more videos on my channel and subscribe to my channel maybe. Also, I teach English and Spanish. If you're curious, I'll leave the information below. You can get in touch with me about that. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much, and bye for now.